Well, hey guys, so today what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do an unboxing and a review of the Xtar D26 called the Whale. It's a very nice LED flashlight. It's great for diving. It's for diving. So let's go ahead and just open the sucker up. So it comes in a nice little case, a little bit padded. Comes with a single charger for the 26-650 battery. It also comes with one of them comes with the AC charger and a micro USB cord that plugs into that, and a car charger if for some reason you want to charge it in the car. It might take a little while, and then of course the flashlight itself, made of aluminum. It says aircraft grade aluminum. Very nice though, it's heavy. It feels good. It feels good in the hand. One thing I would like to say about this is very important and worth mentioning, is the threads that are on this are not too small. Now, I've purchased some lights off of eBay that were very, very disappointing. It also comes with an 18-650 tube. So if you don't want to use the 26-650 battery, you can go ahead and insert your 18-650. A lot of people seem to have those. So back to what I was saying about the grooves on this. It's very important to note that this flashlight was made better than your run-of-the-mill eBay flashlight. And I purchased some of them. For instance, I have two of them right here. They were rated to 200 feet. I took them both to about 80, 85. One of them flooded, maybe at 30 feet, and the other one seemed to work fine. But when I got them both back up, the one that flooded, there was water all in it. It started to corrode the circuit board and the battery. The other one that seemed to work fine, it also had moisture in it as well near the bulb. And what I did was I started opening them up, and I started looking at the screw grooves of these cheaper eBay lights. And one thing I noticed is the grooves were very, very thin and very, very small. It's almost like they're non-existent. So now, one of the most important parts of an underwater flashlight to me is how well it's constructed. So right off the bat, you can tell this thing is heavy duty. But when I compare it to some of the other eBay lights I've gotten, well, first and foremost, they're pretty shitty. This one right away blows them out of the water. But one thing in particular that you have to pay attention to is how they're constructed. So for instance, for some reason, they designed this flashlight foolishly on their behalf to come apart 4 different ways. So it's got the tube, it's got the end cap, it's got the main light, and for some reason, they decided to make a 4th part. So, you know, I could understand if this thing was well built, but it's not. That's 4 different spots for water to get in, and it did. But one of the things I noticed right from the factory when I ordered this from China is that they had cross-threaded it, and I felt that there were aluminum shavings all over it. You can kind of still see some of them right now. But there were little aluminum shavings all over it. Careless, they don't care. I didn't notice this with this. One of the things that I was really impressed about was how deep the grooves are. Probably 2 times at least deeper than these, which just means that you're going to be able to use this thing multiple times over the next couple years, and you're not going to have to worry about the grooves essentially disintegrating. And that's what these cheap eBay lights do. Now, you can see these grooves. They're nice, they're deep. Now, if we look at the eBay light, you're going to see right away that that is not the case. The eBay light has considerably smaller grooves. You can tell that they are much easier to strip. In fact, that's how they were shipped to me. They were stripped. You could tell there were little metal shavings all over it. So if you're going to be opening this, which you will, to charge the battery, you want to go with the thing that has deeper grooves, bigger grooves. It's more well built. It's not a piece of Chinese shit. I just decided to buy something a little bit better, a little bit higher quality. And that's where I started doing a little bit of research, and I found that this Xtar D26 was brand new for 2015. Tried to find some reviews on it. There weren't really a whole lot. So I just decided to go for it. I find that the output is great. The output for this thing is quite nice. It's got 4 settings. There's a turbo setting that you can use underwater that says it gives you 1100 lumens. From everything I can tell, you're getting close to 1000. Maybe with a full charge and a really premium battery, you're going to get 1100. But for the most part, for all intents and purposes, you're going to get right at about 800 to 1000 lumens out of this thing. Far better than your eBay lights that claim 2000 lumens, maybe 3000 lumens from one little LED. There's no way you're getting that, even with the most powerful light possible, or even with the most powerful battery possible. These things don't crank out more than 300 to 500 lumens. They use crappy LEDs. It's not even, some of them don't even use the newer LEDs. They're older stock from 3-4 years ago. But what I did find about the D26 Whale was that not only was your build construction there, your lumen output was awesome. The channel grooves that were in the aluminum are fantastic. The only thing that's a little bit weak about this is this little hand strap. It just feels like it's a little piece of nylon cord with some little tube around it. It's nothing fancy, but you know what? It'll keep you in place. It's just not, it's just a little bit flimsy. I've seen better ones out there. For your money, you can get these on eBay from between $50 to $100. Do a little bit of searching. You'll find it. You can find one closer to the $50 range. That's how much I ended up purchasing mine for. And it was awesome. Shipped in 3 days, and so far the thing has given me no issues. What I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'll include that in the next part of this video, is I'm going to do an underwater test. So I'm actually going to go underwater and see what the actual output is like. So now there are 2 other features about this light that are worth mentioning. The one is the actual button to turn it on. It has a locking mechanism. You just turn it. It prevents you from pressing it down. Maybe it'll come in handy. Maybe it's just going to be cumbersome for you. But for the most part, it's pretty simple to use. The other feature is a 1/4 inch screw bit on the bottom. You can mount it to a tripod if you want. I don't see a whole lot of utility with it, but I don't think it's a bad feature to have. There was a review online I read that said it was the worst feature about this light, and I completely disagree with that. I think it's a nice feature to have because you might need to mount it to a tripod, but for most purposes it probably will never come in handy. Of course, you could always mount it to a camera tray or anything like that, and it would be a nice little feature to have. Other than that, it doesn't really affect the hold of the flashlight. It's a pretty nice little package here. It's not too big, it's not too heavy. Overall, if you're going to get something in the $50 range, there is nothing else on the market that is as good of a deal as this. Even in the under $100 range. It's got a very tight 5-degree beam. It's thoroughly just an awesome deal. You would be expecting to pay $150 or somewhat of the equivalent for something like this. So if you've got $50 laying around and you need a dive light, don't go with the first choice that I went with, which were the cheap eBay lights. These are shitty. Even if they have 3 bulbs on them, the majority of them are shitty. I've tried a few of them out. Some of them flood, but for the most part, they're cheaply made. They're lightweight. They're not going to hold out in the long term. This will. So if you've got $50 laying around, go check out the Xtar D26 Whale. Great flashlight, and that's all I gotta say about that. Time for a beer. So I am actually here in the world famous Silver Springs in Ocala, Florida. Diving here. Did not go into the cave, but I did bring along the light just to show you guys what it would look like. So this is with turbo beam right now, and there are 4 settings on this light. So let me get to a little crevice that's dark, and I'll show you those 4 settings right now. So this is turbo, that is medium, low. This is high, that's turbo, medium, low, high, turbo. And I'm going to go ahead and power it off, and that was the review.